What's up everybody, my name is Brendan and this is BigBearB Creative. Welcome back everybody to another Friday landscape photography video. Today it's a little bit different. I'm sitting down. It's kind of more like our Sunday photo editing videos, except this time I'm facing this way, so it's a little different. It's actually, I think, how I started off doing these videos almost I think it was last November or maybe last October. One of those months, I ended up starting to do these every week. So it's kind of like a little homage back to that. So today, what are we talking about? Well, obviously landscape photography, because that's what we do here. But today I want to talk a little bit about your vehicle and what makes it a great landscape photography vehicle, or what vehicles you could look at later for a future purchase to become a much more efficient landscape photography video. And if you guys know, or if you do read my landscape photography blog, we talked about a little bit about this week. I typically release those on Thursdays. You guys can check that out at BigBearBCreative.com/blog. Like I said, every week it's the same theme as these Fridays video, except I go a little bit more in detail to talk a little bit about some other elements, so you guys can check that out if you're interested. But yeah, basically that whole blog post was about one of the most important landscape photography pieces of equipment that you typically never talk about, and that is your vehicle. Because as landscape photographers, we're going to spend almost, I would say, close to double the amount of time that we're actually out shooting in our vehicle, simply traveling to the locations that we're actually shooting. So that's why I say that your vehicle is a landscape photographer's basically not most important, but one of the most important pieces of gear or equipment, or whatever it is you want to refer to as, thing that they're going to use to capture their images. And that's because that's your mode of transportation to your location, aside of also having to hike a little bit. But for the most part, you're not going to be shooting everything that you want to shoot in your backyard, or your hometown, or wherever you are currently living. You might start off shooting just your backyard, but eventually, after you see so many different posts on social medias or even magazines or on TV, just a bunch of different locations about things that you can't shoot in your backyard, you're going to want to go elsewhere, which means eventually you're going to need a vehicle with a better gas mileage. It's going to allow you to go out and travel, because that's the number one thing you need to look at when it comes to your landscape photography mode of transportation. And that's going to be if you're getting great gas mileage, because again, like I said, you're going to be spending a lot of time on the road. So you're going to need to make sure that it's up to par with that. But there's a bunch of other things you're going to need to look at too to make sure you have a proper, well-supportive landscape photography vehicle. And that's going to be storage space, shelter, power, and of course, we do it whenever we're trying to buy anything, style. So we're going to talk about all of those and kind of what goes into making each one of these things essential, for the most part, besides the style, what makes it essential to have a great landscape photography traveling vehicle. So we're going to start off first with storage. As we talked about in last week's video, if you guys watched it, if not, seriously go check it out. But we talked about lenses, and in that video I talked about how landscape photographers are known for having a bunch of different lenses, and typically more than what you actually need to have, which I recommended just having two, and you can find out the actual lenses that I recommended by watching that video. But for the most part, you just need two lenses, but again, we're known for having a lot more. But that's not going to be the only pieces of equipment that we're going to be bringing. I know a lot of photographers are going to have multiple different camera bodies. You're going to use one for, sunrise, sunsets. You're going to use another for astrophotography, or even another one for wildlife photography. It all just kind of depends on the shooter and kind of their preferences. But a lot of the times, like I said, we have a lot of pieces of equipment. So there's going to be So there's going to be multiple camera bodies. There's going to be, again, many different lenses that we're shooting, sometimes multiple tripods. If you guys are landscape photography vloggers, that's a long tongue twister there. But if you're landscape photography vloggers, you definitely are going to have at least two camera bodies and two tripods that you're using, along with at least two lenses, again, most likely more, because not only are you shooting yourself shooting, but you might be getting B-roll if you're walking, but either way, you're just gonna have a lot of equipment. Then you're gonna have multiple tripods. You're gonna have all the batteries that you're gonna need to actually power your cameras. Or even if you're like aerial photography, so you have a drone, you're gonna need those batteries. You're gonna need the power banks to actually recharge those batteries, which we'll talk about again a little bit later. But like I said, there's just a bunch of different things that you're going to need to bring. And that's just the photography side of things. You're also going to have to make sure you're bringing food, water, any sort of first aid, or rescue equipment if your vehicle gets stuck or anything like that. So there's a lot of things you have to consider that you need to bring, which means you're going to need a vehicle with an ample amount of storage space. And then along with that, going to that number 2, shelter. As landscape photographers, you're basically at mercy with whatever Mother Nature offers you. So sometimes that might mean you get a nice sunny day with some partial clouds. It's going to make for a really nice sky part of your photo. You might get overcast. You might get heavy downpour. You get hail, snow. I mean, you never know exactly what you're going to get. So having a vehicle that gives you a great shelter space is going to be very important, because when you're out in nature, your vehicle is basically going to be the best shelter that you're going to find if you're like well out there, like you're not close to any city or town that you could duck into. So you're going to need to make sure that your vehicle offers you shelter space. And if you're one of those landscape photographers, I'm this way. I prefer to, if I'm shooting a sunrise, I'm going to get there the day before, probably in the evening, camp out overnight, and then wake up early so that way I can make sure I capture the first light of the day. Some people, if you're a little bit opposite, you like more of these sunsets, you're going to be out late. So you might not even be done shooting until about 9 o'clock, and then you might have a 4-hour drive home. So instead, you just want to stay the night there, drive home the next day. Or if you're going for multiple day shoots, you're going to need some sort of camping setup. And one, you could always just pitch a tent on the ground, but some tents, they're just not that great at weather sealing. So if the rain is coming, you might not want to stay on the ground. You know, if you're not one of the people that are a huge fan of the creepy crawlies that come around, you're gonna want to get off the ground. Or even if you're in an area that has a very large wildlife population, you're bringing the food, you don't want to attract them. They might be a little curious about what's inside your tent. A great option is to actually sleep inside of your vehicle, whether that be putting down a sleeping mat and having a blanket, just using a sleeping bag, whatever it is you prefer. You're going to want to make sure you have space in there for you. Or if you brought anyone else with you, you're going to want to make sure you have that space. Another great option, it is a little bit more expensive, but again, a great option is to opt for a rooftop tent. Because again, with those more pricier tents, you're going to make sure that they're actually weather sealed, so when the rain does come, you're not going to be as affected. It's also going to get you up away from those little night crawlers. It's also going to get you away from those wildlife animals that might venture into your campsite. It's going to lift you up, which again might also be great if it's a more of a hotter climate, get you up higher, a little bit more into the breeze that is a lot higher than where we currently are, or normally are. So a rooftop tent is a great option, which again, some vehicles can have, some can't. So that's another thing you need to look at whenever you're deciding if your current vehicle or your future vehicle is a great landscape photography vehicle itself. And back to those batteries that I was talking about earlier. Landscape photographers, we use a lot of batteries because again, we're gonna have multiple cameras, drone, GoPros, DSLRs, mirrorlesses, whatever it is, we're gonna have a bunch of different batteries, and they never last as long as we would really hope that they would. Especially if you're a Sony shooter, I know those things go dead in like 5 minutes. So you're gonna wanna make sure that you have a bunch of batteries, which goes back to the storage. But for that third thing, power, hold on, I clicked a bunch of stuff on my video or my audio recorder because it slipped. But we're gonna wanna make sure that you can power those. And sure, a lot of vehicles have those cigarette lighter things. You take that out, plug in, and you can power your phone, recharge your phone. But again, you have a bunch of batteries, so that might not be the best option unless you have multiple of those. And even then, that might be a little iffy because then you're gonna risk draining your car battery. And then one thing that a lot of more modern cars tend to have is actually those 3-prong plugs. You could actually plug like a power strip in, help you charge your batteries a little bit quicker. But again, you are relying on the battery of your vehicle to charge those. So a great option for not using that and making sure that you don't drain your actual car battery is to look for an alternative exterior way of powering all of your batteries and recharging them. And that's the one that I always recommend that you look at first is solar power, because that's going to be an efficient, eco-friendly, conscious way of actually charging your batteries. Again, it works very well. It could always be packed down really tight too, because I'm not talking about those big firm solar panels that you see a lot on the tiny house builds or the van lives, the bus lives. I'm talking about ones that you actually they fold down into little tiny binder kind of looking things, and then that's easily packed away, which is going to save you on storage space but still allow you to charge all of your batteries. And that can be simply as you just take out that solar panel, open it up, toss it on the hood of your car, let the sun charge it. And it even works well during overcast too, because the sun is still going to be coming through, and it will still allow you to power all of your different batteries and charging blocks and all that kind of stuff. However, that can be, again, a little bit expensive, like those rooftop tents. So instead, a thing you could also look at is just getting an array of power blocks themselves that you charged pre-leaving. You charge them at home, you take them. It's going to take up a little bit more space in your storage area, your cargo area of your car. But again, they're going to be a little bit more eco-friendly. Again, you are still using electricity. It would be coming from the plant, which whatever, depending on where you live, you might even have solar farms, you might have wind farms, water. There's a bunch of different ways. I know where I currently live, they use natural gas, so I would opt for the solar panels if I could. But yeah, that's a whole other video we could do on eco-conscious photography. But next and last, again, comes down to that style. It's not extremely important, but whenever we're looking at vehicles, we always tend to lean towards our own style, that we like things, and we like to be proud of the vehicles that we're driving. So some people, we like the sleek, modern designs. Some people, we like the more rough, aggressive kind of look. So think of like the Tesla versus a 4Runner. Tesla's gonna be very sleek, modern. 4Runner, they're going to be a little bit more aggressive looking. So whatever your style is, just make sure that they have those previous three. So you're going to want to make sure they have storage. They're going to be a good shelter spot. And they're going to give you a power option, or make sure you could store your external power options. So whatever way that you prefer, just make sure that has that. Also make sure you have a really good gas mileage with that, because again, you're going to be driving a lot, and it's one of the things you're going to be doing a majority of your time with landscape photography is going to be the lights keep going out. So like I said, the one thing you're going to be doing a lot is driving and photo editing, so you want to make sure you have all the options you need there. So my suggestion is to check out Subarus. I love Subarus. They have 3 different kind of crossovers. Those are the ones I recommend. They'll be good for each kind of person, whether you're small, average, or large. For me, I'm above 6 foot, probably a little bit wider than I need to be, so the Outback is great for me. If you're a little bit more on the average size, then the Crosstrek, again, great. And if you're smaller, they have the Forester. If you don't like a larger vehicle, Forester is also great because it's their smallest crossover. If you guys have your own favorite landscape photography vehicle, let me know what it is down in the comment section below. And I hope I kind of helped you either progress in your search of what you're looking for, or make you kind of think double about what you currently have and how you can improve it. So like I said, if I did any of that, if you have your favorite vehicle, let me know down in the comment section below. It's also a great way to kind of show everyone great options to look for too, is by putting what your favorite one is down in the comment section below. And if you like this video, let me know by bear pawing that like button. It really goes a long way in telling me that you guys are enjoying these and then keep making more. And also it helps promote the video to other people who are looking for the same kind of information as well. And if you aren't subscribed, because I know at least 50% of my viewers aren't, make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe button down below. We do these landscape photography videos every Friday. I try to get a Sunday special video out to you guys as often as I can. They're typically me editing all my photos on my computer here. Yeah, I try to do those as often as I can. The movie that I'm currently filming or helping film, that should be wrapping up at the end of the month. So hopefully starting next month, we'll be back to doing those more regularly. So if you guys enjoy these, again, make sure you're subscribing. Also, before you guys go, 2 links I want you guys to check out down below in the description box. One is going to be BigBearBCreative.com/eco apparel. That's where you guys can find all of my eco apparel designs, t-shirts, long sleeves, hoodies, and tote bags. Really fun designs, all nature based. I suggest you guys check those out. They're printed on eco-conscious material. So again, you're helping out the nature there. And then also, if you love landscape photography and you want some prints, you guys can check mine out at BigBearBCreative.com/prints. And yeah, I think that's all information I have for you here today. So thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you have a great day. Be safe during this time and go be creative.